Good morning, folks. It's Saturday morning. I'm still waiting to find out if I'm going to have to go in this morning to work. But I'm sure some of you are curious how the new job is going. To give you an idea, uh, with my previous job for 44 hours, after medical, 401k, yada, 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 taxes and everything, for 44 hours, I got $786. With the new company, no 401k, no medical, 49 hours, I got 943. Now, the new company is a little bit more labor intensive. I can say that because every muscle this morning is sore, you know. Uh, but the stress level is like zero, right? Uh, the stress level for me, there's no question about what am I doing next, right? It's walk in, go do this, you do it, come back, walk in, go do this. Uh, there's no trying to call 5 minutes after you're unloaded to figure out what you're doing. There's no uh, trying to appease the customer because the dispatcher's done missed pickup on a load or forgotten a load was there to be picked up. So yeah, it is more labor intensive. It has been 2 years since I opened and closed container doors on a regular basis. And it's an older truck, so it is beating the living hell out of me. I got bruises in places that it's just a matter of getting used to that truck. It's uh I'm tired, but at the same token, I think I'd made the right decision, and I think that I would have stayed at the other company if they had allowed me to, but in the end, uh I'm getting on average with the old company, I would get 6 to maybe 8 hours a day. With the new company, I'm getting right at 9 to 11 hours a day. So a little bit longer days, and it's a little bit less money. But yeah, I think it's gonna work out fine. This is the new diamond painting that I'm doing. Um, I'm actually almost completely done with this one. So I just wanted to give you that update. Now, let's talk about prepping, right? So one of the things I do this time of the year is I go to the grocery store, I get my onions, right? And I start doing something that you might find a little bit strange, but it works for me. So this is onion bulbs, uh, and what I have in here is used coffee grounds. So I make my coffee like normal in the morning, and after I have my coffee, I take the filter out and I dump the coffee grounds into this bucket with the onions, and as you can see, I have onion greens on tap, right? So these are all onions. They're just tossed in there. Uh, so what you do is you take the part of the onion that's got the roots coming out, and you put that down in there, and it will grow. Now, when it gets warm enough outside to where we're not going to have freezing temperatures, I'll take all of these out, I'll separate them out, and I'll put them in my garden bed. And so come fall, I'll have onions about the size of my hand. And I'll make a video of that when I do that and how I do that. But this is a quick way for you in the wintertime in the house, if you want onions on hand, onion greens. This is very easy to do. It's just a 5-gallon bucket. There's no holes in this bucket. And I just use my used coffee grounds as the dirt. Now when it goes out into the garden bed, it'll be in regular dirt, my compost, and I'll put these coffee grounds in with that compost. So you can do this with all kinds of scraps that you get from the grocery store. Okay, I did this like this with a pineapple one year. I cut the top off the pineapple, put that into the bucket with some dirt, and then just added coffee grounds over the winter, and kept it in the house, kept it with a good light on it. And in the spring I had a little pineapple on top of it. Now unfortunately I took it and put it outside, and when I put it outside the squirrels got to it. But you can do that. It's something simple that you can do. Coffee grounds are really good for plants, especially if you're starting plants. If they like acidic soil, okay? Because coffee grounds are typically very acidic. So garlic does well in it. Onions do very well in it. It's don't waste your coffee grounds, because your coffee grounds can go back into your compost and into your garden, and it is very good. It's almost like potting soil. Okay, it's good for starting plants, but if you want real healthy plants, you don't want to have them completely in just coffee grounds. Okay, you want actual dirt in there, and actual compost. And that's just a little tip that I do. Obviously I've had the onions all winter in the house in the 5-gallon bucket, as you can tell by the amount of coffee grounds in the bucket. But yeah, and I mean, if I want onion greens, I just snip a little bit off, and I've got onion greens for in my food. And my chickens are starting to lay again, and this week they really went crazy, right? So this week we have got eggs big time. This is off of 4 hens to give you an idea. They're not at full production yet. They're laying one day and then not the next. But this is a week, and if your family eats a lot of eggs, like you see, I've already started separating out some eggs that's going to go to my neighbor. So if your family eats a lot of eggs, just be aware that this is typically, with 4 hens, this is typically about how many you're going to get in a week. Obviously a lot more in the spring and summer and fall. In the winter, a lot less. Okay, in the winter you might get 1 a day, or with my hens, they completely shut down from October to they just started laying here at the end of February. And realize that you're going to have to feed them, right? So that cost on chickens, as you can see, I feed them a variety. That cost to me per month is about $47 a month. Now, that includes a 50-pound bag of feed. That includes oyster shells for their eggs. That includes scratch grains, right? Because they need scratch grains. They also need scratch, okay, which is basically rock. They need that. That includes their treats. I do buy them the soldier worms and the black fly larva. That's freeze dried. They do get that. And they also get what they call organic treats. Okay, so it cost me about $45 just in feed. And then the treats, it depends on what brand you get, how expensive the treats are going to be. I do not recommend Carolina feed. I bought a bag of it, and my chickens will not touch it. So I don't understand why, but they are on strike as far as the feed goes right now. So today I've got to go out and go down to the feed granary and get them the regular feed that I've been feeding them, which was the game bird. For some reason they like that, and they don't like this. They do not like this poultry layer by Carolina. They absolutely will not eat it. I even went and got Nutrina layer feed, and they're eating a little bit of it, but they don't like it, right? So be aware of that. Whatever you're feeding your hens, they'll let you know whether or not they like that feed, and you might have to change feed a couple times until you find something that your hens like. That's an extra cost. Now, let's go with cost, okay? Cost on birds. My chicken coop, right there, that I built, and I built that myself. Nobody helped me. I did that myself. That chicken coop right there cost me about $2,200. Now, the reason it was so cheap is because I used a lot of wood I already had on hand, and I was able to get free wood from work. So a lot of that wood is wood from trailer floors. It's wood from where they secured product in containers. And I took the 2x4s and the 4x4s and boom. The biggest cost you're going to have is on the what we call hardware cloth. That is the fencing that goes up and down the coop. That is expensive. I'm not going to lie, that's expensive. And you need to put it down a foot to 2 foot. If you don't, especially here in the country, you have raccoons, you have possums, you have minks, you have hawks, you have rats. They all want to eat your chickens. Okay, be aware of that if you're going to build a chicken coop. Okay, also, I've heard that all new chicks coming out from the big box stores, i.e., Tractor Supply, all these poultry farms where you buy chicks, are going to be mandated vaccinated with an mRNA against bird flu. Okay, this is something that, as a person who has chickens, you have to be aware of the health of your chickens. And they need vitamin B, they need vitamin K, they need dewormer. Uh, this is just part of having a chicken, and the cost is there, okay? But once they get to this age where I've got 2 hens that are 5 years old, I got 1 hen who's about 3 years old, and then I got the new one, which I think is a young hen. I think she's about 4 or 5 months old. She might be a little bit older, I don't know. But that's eh. As far as my Easter eggers go, I lost the one Easter egger to Wryneck, and the second Easter egger, not sure exactly what happened to her. She was fine the night before, came out in the morning, and she was dead. So not exactly sure if maybe she got in a fight with a rat, or and that ended up killing her. I didn't see any damage to her, but you never know, right? You just never know. So I do not free range my chickens, which is why they have such a big run. I occasionally do let them come out in the backyard, but if they're out in the backyard, I'm with them because we do have hawks here. So you got to look at your area and look at what wildlife is in your area, and be aware that everything that's wild wants to eat your chickens and your chicken eggs. Okay, so you need to take that into consideration when you get chickens. And yes, they are susceptible to certain diseases and certain vitamin deficiencies, and you have to be aware of that. Also, you have to look at how are their feathers looking, are they looking alert. You have to do this, okay? They have to have fresh water. They have to have it every day, okay? You would think, well, chickens. No, my chickens go through about 2 gallons of water a day, okay? They drink a lot of water, okay? It's just part of having chickens, right? So you also have to look at the feeders, how much you got to pay for the feeders. In the cold weather, you got to have heater underneath your water dish, or you got to constantly going out there changing their water so they have fresh water that they can drink and it's not froze up. In the summer especially, you have to provide them with a way to cool down, whether that be a nice shady spot, or what I like to do is I have a pan and I put cool water in the pan and lay it in there, and they pretty much just stomp their feet in there, and they cool their feet down, and that ends up cooling their whole body down. But I get up to 115 to 120 degrees here in the summer. So normally you don't have to do that if you're less than 100 degrees. You normally do not also have to put any kind of heater in the coop if you seal it up good and they have good fresh pine shavings in the coop. I keep about 3 to 4 inches of pine shavings in the coop, and I change it every month on a regular basis, so that's a cost. And chickens are not free, okay? I want to be very clear about this because I've watched several YouTube channels that have said, well, I get free eggs. No, you're not getting free eggs, okay? You had to take 4 to 6 months of raising the hen before she ever lays the first egg. That's a cost. You had to pay for her. That's a cost. You had to provide a coop. That's a cost. Okay? You have to constantly monitor your birds. That is a cost in time. Okay? Uh, you have to feed your chickens well in order to get good eggs, and that is also a cost. Okay? Now, I love my chickens. They are the drama queens of the animal world as far as I'm concerned. And they have drama in that coop all day long. Okay? And it's enjoyable to me, but it is work. And I want to be very clear about this. It is work. Sometimes you'll have a hen who gets egg bound. Now you have to know what to do to fix that. Okay? Sometimes you'll get a hen that is crossbeak. You have to be able to know how to fix that, how to trim their beak so they can eat. Okay? You have to know that. Okay? Um, it's not free eggs. Okay? Like I said, about 4 months out of the year, I get no eggs and I'm still feeding them. Okay? Now, yes, I can save eggs in various ways for the winter. Okay? But really, I got the chickens because I enjoy the chickens. I did not get the chickens to uh, depend on money from my chickens. If that's something you're planning on doing, you need a lot more chickens than what I've got. And your cost is going to go up exponentially because of that. Okay? And chickens are, you have to provide them with a dust bath because they can get lice. Okay? And I know that sounds disgusting, but they can get feather lice. Okay? And uh, so you have to provide them with a good dust bath. Okay? And it's like any animal that you bring into your house. You want to be sure that you're treating that animal with respect and love, right? You just don't bring an animal into the house and then throw it to a corner. No, it takes time, right? It takes time. You got to keep the coop clean. You got to keep them clean. The eggs is just a bonus, right? But that's what I had for you today. I hope some of these tips really resonate with you to give you a good idea of the starting cost in chickens. Typically, you're going to spend anywhere from $1,000 on up on a good coop and the chickens themselves, and food and feed until they start laying. Okay? That's typical. Okay? It's not free. All right? If you're have an ingenuity like I did, you can build your own coop, but it's going to cost you money for the materials, right? It's going to cost you money for the roofing. It's going to cost you money for the fencing. It's going to cost money. Yeah, I'm not lying. The feeders is going to cost you money, right? The water is going to cost you money. Okay? So be aware of that before you just go out and grab a bunch of chicks from Tractor Supply or from the farm co-op. Be aware of that, okay? It's going to cost you money. For every hen that you add to your coop, that's another cup of feed a day. Okay? So yes, I have 4 chickens. They get 4 to 5 cups of feed a day. Okay? Every day. And I cannot skip a day. If I skip a day, they don't lay. Okay? Just be aware of that, right? And the better food that you buy for your chickens, the more healthier your chickens will be. Yes, I tried to go the little cheap route because, I wasn't getting paid for 3 weeks. So I went and I bought cheaper food, and they're absolutely refusing to eat it. So your chickens will tell you when certain feed is bad. Okay, so either they ate the other bag of it, they ate this bag, right? The premium feed, they ate that no problem. But this bag, they don't want nothing to do with. And this bag here, right? So, we'll have to go and buy them what they actually like. So yeah, they are drama queens, okay? They will go on strike. They will literally go on strike on you, okay? And be like, nope, not laying today because you did not feed us any treats this week. Yes, they do that, okay? Be aware of that. And yeah, I hope this video finds you well. I've got to go to the dump, and I've got to go to the co-op and get their chicken feed that they like, and yeah, that's about all I got today. Bicycle.